Lech lecha, go forth from your land, from Westchester County, New York, the place whose community you know well, to the land of Memphis, Tennessee, that I will show you. How blessed we are to be here at Temple Israel, to learn from you, to celebrate this sacred Shabbat with you, to be inspired by your extraordinary Rabbi, Rabbi Micah Greenstein. The opening of this week's parasha, immortalized in song by Debbie Friedman, is a call we know well. Go to a land that I will show you. Be a blessing. It won't be easy. This blessing comes with extraordinary purpose and great vulnerability. This is your blessing, and through you, all the families of the earth will be blessed. We read this parasha every year, but this Shabbat of Lech Lecha is like no other. For many of us across the United States, we find ourselves this Shabbat in a place we thought we knew, but now don't recognize. For some of us, the landscape is suddenly bleak. For others, it has been bleak for a long time. What do we do when around us it feels like, maybe like the light dims? I never thought in a million years that I would answer this question with the story I'm about to tell you. I just got back from Israel just a few days ago. My mother's 96. My mother was scheduled for emergency surgery, and either I was going to get to Israel on some circuitous route or another to help convince her to go to Tel Aviv for a long and risky procedure, or stay with her in Jerusalem to prepare for her dying. Don't hold your breath. She's in Tel Aviv's Ichilov Hospital and is recovering. She is amazing. But it's another story that I want to tell you. Who would have thought that at this time I would draw hope and light from a hospital? Who would have thought that we would see a country's highest vision of itself in a hospital? Context? It's Israel now. Your rabbi has pulled no punches in addressing head-on the crises within Israel. I will tell you from my recent days there that no matter where a person is on the political or any spectrum, everyone is suffering. And the same way that interest is compounded, in Israel, the suffering is compounded. It is terrible. And within that suffering, like an island, is Ichilov Hospital. So I'm going to tell you about this. First, who's there? The doctors, nurses, patients. Who are they? They're Palestinian, Israeli, Arab, Russian, Bukharan, Ethiopian, male nurses, Palestinian physicians. One of the first nurses who cared for my mother wore a hijab. Healers and patients, every ethnicity, language, gender, and religion. I don't know what things are like here in Memphis. I know that every New York hospital I've ever been to, you can't just walk into somebody's room. You have to go to the desk, get a visitor pass. Is that the same here? More or less? No? 2 visitors per room. No such thing as a visitor pass. People come in all day and night. Before Shabbat, some of them come in with sleeping bags to spend the night in the room, because that wasn't clear. They come in with picnics and bags of food, sometimes pots of food. And speaking of food, no one asks or cares what food you bring. No one checks if it's kosher or not. family is expected to be there, as it turns out. The staff, nursing staff, other staff, they do the technical and medical stuff. The family is expected to do everything else. Feed the patient, bring the patient to the bathroom, walk, everything else. No need for caring committees. People, family and friends, show up. Next to Ichilov Hospital is a huge public mall. It's built adjacent to the hospital, so there's direct access and internal walkways and safe passage outside. My mom needed something. I wasn't going to spend my Israel time in, McDonald's, in a mall, but she needed something, so I went to the mall. The first thing I see is doctors and nurses hanging out in their scrubs in the mall. Okay. Then, as I'm walking around looking for the store, and I'm blinking my eyes like, am I seeing things right? I see people in hospital gowns walking around in the mall. Sitting at tables, hanging with their friends, picking up dinner someplace. And then I see walking down the corridor, there's a man in his hospital walking with his IV pole. I kid you not. It was unbelievable. And in the large courtyard in the hospital, a family had rolled the bed of their family member into the courtyard for sun and fresh air. A completely different sense of wholeness and also what it takes to heal. I am sure that you can pull out from this description the values that lie underneath. You don't need me to spell them out. You can find the ones that speak to you. What I want to say on this Shabbat is that this oasis of healing and hope and connection is happening within a landscape of wider hopelessness. That wherever we are, whatever is going on out there, we can heal, we can connect, we can bring joy and share hope. Lech lecha, go. Sometimes leaving your place of comfort, you will be a blessing. But it won't always be easy. Being vulnerable is your glory. And wherever you go, God promises, God will be with you, and you shall be a blessing. Shabbat shalom.